So you're all very welcome this morning to this webinar and really important discussion on gender balance and workplace dynamics. Gender equality is an issue that affects everyone. It's about ensuring inclusivity for all across society, the economy, and the business landscape. And in Ireland, we've reached a position of much greater gender parity in the workplace. However, it's clear that more progress is needed to finally close the gap and reach a truly inclusive economy. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker today. Angus Hegarty joins us as co-chair for Balance for Better Business. Angus is a seasoned board member, strategic advisor, and thought leader with 4 decades of global experience.
By having that diverse leadership team, that diverse organization, the idea is that among that diversity, you have a greater set of ideas, competencies, thoughts, higher levels of innovation. The inclusivity is about unlocking that, making sure that the culture at the boardroom, at the leadership team, and throughout the organization allows people to bring the whole of themselves to the conversation, discussion, to give their input, their ideas, their thoughts, so that ultimately you make better decisions, you have better outcomes.
Zoe Deverell is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Lead at ESB. Zoe has led DEI programs across the financial services, technology, and energy industries in Europe and internationally.
Employee resource groups. So we started with our LGBT plus employee resource group in 2016. They've gone from strength to strength, many successes. They've got a great program across the group. Last year, we introduced 3 additional employee resource groups. So I mentioned gender. We also introduced our accessibility ERG and then our cultural diversity and ethnicity ERG. And look, I said at the start, it is so important. ERGs are the lifeblood of DEI at any company. You need to hear from your people, to listen to them. Some of the best ideas I've ever seen come to fruition from a DEI program have been through employee resource groups. So look internally first, and you'll be surprised at the amount of knowledge and ideas that are already at your fingertips.
So our final speaker for this morning is Emmanuel Adeleke. Manny is a partner at Deloitte Ireland. He's a partner in consulting, leading the delivery of AI and data services across Ireland. And in his role, he's responsible for leading, scaling, and delivering Deloitte's offering and services to drive impact for clients across all sectors and industries.
Looking back at my own journey, actually, when I came into Deloitte as a partner, it was the 1st of June 2022, and that was a big milestone for a couple of reasons. Some of the topics we're focusing on today around diversity and inclusion. That day that I joined Deloitte as a partner, I became the first Black partner in any professional services organization in Ireland. So as somebody who's basically emigrated into the country to kind of get into that position, while it was a little bit of a surprise, it was something that I knew that, I have a platform now, and what can I do with that platform? I guess, being involved in a number of initiatives such as this one, as a father of 2 daughters as well, this is something that's quite close to my heart.
You need to measure where are you today. You need to set a target of where you want to get to. It can be 3 years or 5 years out, but then build an action plan and then report internally if that's what you want to do. I think more and more requirement will be to report externally as things like gender pay gap, for example, develop in Ireland, and other initiatives and other EU legislation that's coming around diversity and inclusion. But report on that and track against the target. So if you have a target to increase your representation by 5% or 10%, what are you looking to achieve within 12 months, 24 months, and track against that and report on it? But I think the most important thing is to articulate to the organization, explain why you're making it a business priority and why you're focusing on it, and what are the benefits to everybody in the organization from doing that.
Absolutely, we need to bring men into the conversation. We need to bring everyone into the conversation. If we are going to solve this problem, and we can't do that if we continue this kind of divisiveness amongst ourselves. This is a joint issue. We're all losing out from this. The economy's losing out, society's losing out, kids are losing out, we're all losing out. So ultimately we need to work together to solve this. If you look at any sort of change that's happened, whether that's a revolution or a huge change in society or norms, that always happens when people come together. Instead of looking at each other as different and separate, when we come together as a group of people with a shared defined purpose, that's when the magic really happens. That's when the pressure gets put on our leaders. That's when change can happen.
There's something around, it's completely okay to acknowledge our differences, but I think the more important thing is actually accepting each of those differences, right? So for me, as a starting point, when we do think about whether that's our teams or people or leadership, it's understanding the different things that makes us diverse, whether that's gender, whether that's race, whether that's sexual orientation, or whatever it is. That needs to be at the heart of what we do, because when we talk about DE&I, it's not necessarily just about one component of all of those differences, I suppose, within our different groups as well. So for me, it is, thinking about all of those different components as we form different constructs, I suppose, within our teams, and how we go to market together as a business and how we work together as a team. So that's something that's at the heart of everything we do within Deloitte. So, like I said, okay to acknowledge that we're all different for a lot of different reasons, but actually accepting it is a lot more important.
Thank you so much to the three of you, our speakers today, Angus, Zoe, and Manny, for sharing your expertise and insights and joining in on this really important discussion. Really appreciate it. Thanks to our sponsors, Cork Chamber Skillnet and ASB Generation and Trading, for your continued support.